Alright, so what are we doing today? Well, who doesn't like Stardew? I like Stardew. You presumably like Stardew. That's why you're here. But have you ever thought, I wonder if Abby is a communist? Well, today we're gonna answer that question, because today we will be putting all the Stardew villagers into the political compass and giving them a political leaning. So first off the bat, we have Carolyn. Carolyn, married to Pierre, cheated on him with the wizard to have Abigail. We've got to think Stardew is in like small rural town. Carolyn is married to the supermarket owner of Stardew. And as we all know, Pierre is the most like capitalist, free of the market, free of the people. She doesn't agree with Pierre, you know what I mean? She doesn't agree a lot with Pierre, but she doesn't bring politics up in front of him because she knows it will make him mad. I think she voted Hillary in 2016 and was like Bernie's just a bit too socialist for me. Loves her bisexual daughter, Abigail. I reckon Carolyn's like here. I reckon she's just authoritarian left wing, you know, right there. So who do we have next? Clint. Oh my God, Clint. The very definition of like a nice guy. He's like, I'm a nice guy, but I can't get the girl. She never talks to me, blah, 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 blah. In 2022, this man is a blacksmith. It's the very definition of a nice guy. This dude gives me like, I'm a libertarian, but he voted Trump vibe. I think you shouldn't ask his opinion on child labor. Yeah, he's like right wing. Demetrius, oh, this is an interesting one. Demetrius is a scientist, right? If he's a scientist, I think he's definitely like on the left. He's definitely on that side of things, but I don't put him down as a Bernie guy. And the reason I think that is because like, have you seen their house in this game? It's huge. The house is massive. They've got a laboratory in their house. They've got the downstairs basement for Sev, Maroo's and Robin's workshop all in one house. I think he's like a socially progressive dude. He's like the coolest man you'll talk to. Because he's got a bit of money, I think he's an Andrew Yang kind of guy. He likes his science and factual approach to politics. I'm gonna put him right here. Who have we got next? Dwarf. Oh, Dwarf! I reckon the dwarfs are like full commies, dude. I don't think the dwarf knows what the fuck a Democrat and a Republican are. He's never heard of what a capitalism is. When they get back down there, there's not much of a hierarchy. There's no class. They just come back and share their food between everyone. True classic Marxist. Elliot. I don't like Elliot. He gives me, both sides are bad energy. He thinks he's a lost poet and a heartbroken poet. But really, he just interrupts women when they have opinions. I think I'm gonna put him like here. He's a gaslighter. That's what it is. He gives me gaslighting vibes. Harvey! Soy boy, cutesy, ooh-woo, likes to be pegged Harvey. I like Harvey. I think Harvey is like welcoming to all. I think Harvey is like socially progressive and economically progressive, but here's the thing. He's always voted Democrat. He likes Bernie Sanders, but he's a small town doctor. And if Bernie puts through universal healthcare, maybe he doesn't get as much money. So maybe he's like a Andrew Yang with Demetrius. I think they're about the same, but I think Harvey's a little bit more economically right wing. Emily. Oh, Emily. Crystal loving Emily. I think we can all agree, Emily didn't get the vaccine. I don't get like cool witch vibes from Emily. We all love witch girls, but I don't get that from Emily. I think Emily is more the thinks lizards control the government and Trump is in contact with the Galactic Federation of Aliens to save America. More that kind of hippie. What I'm saying is I don't think Emily showers. Emily is definitely somewhere around here. And now we have Evelyn. Evelyn is the sweet old grandma, but we can't ignore Evelyn's age. She reminds me of this comic. This is how I picture Evelyn. Sweet, kind, loving when you walk in, but votes like you're gonna burn in carbon hell and doesn't give a fuck. I think she's up here. Trump 2024 for Evelyn. If she's even around then, George. George fought a Nam, but George is the most conservative in town. George fought a Nam, but like, he still thinks it was the right thing to do. You know that if you're a boy and you marry Alex, George goes through a lot of like reflection, and he's like, I wasn't too comfortable with you and my grandson dating, but seeing how happy you two are together made me realize that I was wrong. However, when I play Stardew, I only play as a girl. So for that reason, George is the most conservative authorite in here. Gus is bland, man. He owns the bar, which is cool. He hired Emily, so I get the idea that he was like, if I have to pay taxes and do a vaccine passport, then I won't be able to keep my business up. Blah, blah, I'm Gus, blah, 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 blah. I reckon Gus is like a Librite. Kent. Oh, Kent. He is a war veteran. Pre-war, Kent was hardcore, don't tread on me Republican. Post-war, Kent realizes that he was dying for a rich man's game. I think Kent doesn't even vote anymore. Bush sent me to die and Obama kept me there. Kent is now based. Krobus. I think Krobus just wants love, man. He doesn't understand our political system. So therefore, he's an anarcho-communist. Alright, who's next? Leah. Leah is like the cottagecore dream. She's an artist. She's a creative. She's progressive. She's a Bernie bro day one. She makes her art to reflect society's issues. She leaves modern society. She lives in a cottage out in the middle of nowhere. I think she's quite lib, and I also think she's quite left-wing. Lewis. Let's talk about the most run-of-the-mill, corrupt politician out there. He's definitely Republican. He didn't give a shit when Jojo Mart moved in. He didn't give a shit that his townspeople would be exploited for low wages and that it would destroy the local economy. Mayor Lewis is alt-right, worst mayor. Take him down. Shouldn't he be low right? Good point. If he's a corrupt politician that will do anything for money, he's lib-right. I think he's like here. Linus. Linus thinks Ted Kaczynski was right. Linus says the Industrial Revolutions and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race. He is a pure and true anarcho-primitive. Marnie. Pierre, Marnie, and Lois. Those are the three characters I don't like. I just don't get good vibes from her. She's really secretive about her political leanings. I think she's progressive in the way that your 50-year-old dad is. If you ask her who she votes for, she'll be like, oh, I vote Republican, but it's only because they're better with the economy. But then she changes the screen anytime there's two girls holding hands on the TV. She's a Yoba is watching at all times kind of person. I think Marnie is up here. I think we have too many in lib left at the moment. Demetrius and Harvey rethinking should be an off left. I think Andrew Yang supporters should be up here. I think Kent maybe is a bit more like up here. Who have we got next? Ooh, Maroo. She's like a university student liberal. I think Maroo, Maroo's a hard one actually. I think she's quite heavily influenced by her dad politically. When Biden and Kamala Harris got voted in, she was happy, but like Leah was like, this is just back to normal oligarchical America. So I think she's like here, Pam. Pam was there on Jan 6. Every single thing Pam knows about politics comes from her local Facebook page. Pam has been let down by the lack of social welfare and social security in America, but she does not blame it on politicians. I think, Pam, you can go up here a bit. Penny, Pam's daughter, definitely doesn't talk about politics around Pam. She's a teacher, and she would give up anything to teach the young people and give Vincent and Jess the future they deserve. Penny gives me the vibes of like the cool history or English teacher that takes you under her wing. I think she liked Elizabeth Warren in the runner-up. I think she's right here. Robin. Oh, Robin. I'm not sure Robin cares about politics. However, Robin is a good mum. I think she listens a lot to Maroo. And I think she listens to Maroo and thinks, who does Maroo think is the best option for themselves, I'm going to vote for Maroo's future. So for that, I'm gonna put her right there. She asked Maroo, hey Maroo, who do you think is the best choice? Who's the best candidate? I'll vote for who you think. Sam, oh God, Sam. Sam is definitely a libertarian. Socially progressive, economically conservative. He's on that hustle grind mindset, crypto bro, winning on NFTs. He's definitely lib right. God, imagine running into Sam at the bar and all he talks to, he just tells you about why you should invest in Ethereum. Sandy's progressive as fuck. She talks a lot about like flowers and plants. So obviously I think she's for the environment. I think she's left wing. I don't know a lot about Sandy. She doesn't have a lot to it, but I think she votes green in America, you know? If Emily is like into the new wave shit, Sandy is like a proper protester hippie. I think she's like down here. Haley thinks Margaret Thatcher had girl power. She voted Hillary. She thinks Margaret Thatcher was a good prime minister for the UK. She only voted for Biden because of Kamala Harris. Her best voting interest is in whatever will progress her MLM scheme. Traditional liberal Democrat. More women committing war crimes. That's Haley. Jody's a military wife. She thinks everyone should live, laugh, love their way through life. I think Jody is the very definition of slightly conservative, white woman, Midwest Republican. She and Kent got married at a young age. They got married at 19, straight out of high school. And then Kent signed up for the military. And Jody stayed home to look after the kids. She's a live, laugh, love kind of Midwest gal. That's what I think she is. Pierre. Ooh, Pierre. Pierre owns the shop. He doesn't like Jojo Mart. He thinks they're big corporation bad, but he also will do anything he wants to make money. He takes and buys our vegetables for a low amount and then sells them for the most ridiculous prices you've ever seen. Inflated so high that he makes ridiculous turnover. Pierre's like, here. Pierre has said the words taxation is theft and the freer the market, the freer. But his daughter, Abby, the one we've all been waiting for, his daughter, Abby is the libertarian socialist goth girl of our hearts. Abby definitely recognizes the failure of capitalism and is a full-on socialist. Bernie 2016, Bernie 2020, Bernie 2024, Bernie or nothing. Abby is a Hassan fan. Yeah, we're clapping for Abby. Abby is down here. She's a libertarian socialist. She's for the people. She's right down the bottom left. Abby's our lib-left queen. Alex. Well, Alex is a frat boy, right? But he wants to play gridiron or American football at university. He's grown up a lot with Evelyn and George, but he's younger. I don't think he holds the social conservatism that Evelyn and George quite hold, but he's definitely got that economic conservatism. I think he's like always voting a Republican Party, but that's only because he's grown up in a Republican household. Centrist Republican, that's where he is. Abby thinks that she can fix Alex. Seb is too edgy for politics. I think he sees himself as like a classic punk. He's like, ugh, why vote? They're both the same party anyways. But I think he's slightly left-leaning. I think he's like centrist libertarian. No, I think he's like here. I think Penny's gonna go a bit more centrist. I think Sandy's gonna go a bit more centrist. I think Leah's gonna be there. Shane. I don't think Shane votes either. Seb doesn't vote because he's like, it all sucks, burn it to the ground. I don't think he votes because I don't think he cares. I think he's true centrist. He doesn't give a fuck. He just wants to be left alone with his chickens. All right, Willie. Get out of here, we'll put you back. Willie, I just think he wants to fish, man. Truly, I just think Willie wants to fish and barbecue. I think he votes Republican, but that's only because my daddy and his daddy before them were diehard Republicans, so I vote Republican. So I think he's like, I think he's here. I think he's a, I don't care I just want to fish. The wizard, Abby's father. Look at that and tell me that's not Abby's father. Kind of like Linus. He's got the same kind of ideas. He just wants to be left alone and do his magical shit. But I think he's a little bit more left-leaning because he's like into crystals and stuff. I don't think he votes. He also didn't get the vaccine, but that's because he can actually come up. So I think the wizard's like here. So this is it. This is our Stardew political compass. I think we're gonna switch Haley and Elliot around. I think Clint can go a little bit more libertarian because of his views on child labor. So I think the dwarf might be like off left. I think the dwarf is a tanky. But I think this is the final compass. I think this is it. Do you agree with this? Do you disagree? Please let me know down below. I would love to hear your opinions and let me do that again. Chat, stop interrupting me. Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. This will all be used in a future video, an assignment that we'll be doing later on. So keep an eye out for that. That should be coming. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to catch you in the next video. Bye.